Good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well. I believe it's Wednesday morning, if we're not mistaken. We are at the next game in the 1987 American League replay, the third of four games played on June the 4th. Game number 357 overall on the entire replay. We're at the Kingdome in Seattle. Kansas City Royals taking on the Seattle Mariners. The Kingdome very home run friendly, with home runs being 1-17 for both left and right. Singles only 1-5, but home runs 1-17. Kansas City won this game real world 6-1. Pitching matchup for this ball game, we have Brett Saberhagen on the mound for the Kansas City Royals against Mike Morgan for the Mariners. Morgan is a +2 pitcher-catcher hold, and Saberhagen's exact opposite. He's a -2 pitcher-catcher hold. Morgan comes to the replay 2-6. Saberhagen 5-5. So we'll get Saberhagen out of there and get ready for Mike Morgan. On the real season, he was 12-17 with a 4.65 earned run average. Good morning, Colin. How are you? So 12-17, 4.65 ERA. On the replay, he is 2-6 with a 4.28 earned run average. So his ERA is a little bit better, but he's just not getting the run support. Hence his record being 2-6. Morgan's wild pitch rating is an 11. He balks at a 0. Saberhagen's wild pitch is a 5. He balks at a 2. Passball rating for Quirk is a 6. Passball rating for Bradley is only a 1. Kansas City enters this game 24-25, trying to stay relevant in the American League West. Seattle is a bottom feeder, 18-34. They are irrelevant, so they're just playing out the season basically because they're pretty much toast. And that's where we stand. Got our dice. We'll get this thing going here. Tomorrow's game will be the final game on June the 4th, and that'll be coming from California, from Anaheim, California. It'll be the Chicago White Sox and the California Angels. And then on Friday, we'll have the National League game from June the 4th, and that's the San Diego Padres and the Montreal Expos. Get a little National League action going on. And before we get any further, if you watched the game yesterday, you know that I could not find the Dan Plesac card, and I had to try to capture his image off of the computer screen. Well, he has been found. Dan Plesac has been located. So Dan Plesac is here. He was found. What happened was, what I do with my bench and my bullpen, you can't see it, it's off the camera, but up above this score sheet is table space, and that's where I put my benches and my reserves. But there is a gap between that and the wall. So what happened was, when I was trying to gather up these cards, I guess at the end of the game, Plesac slipped down and got stuck between the between the table and the floor. So I couldn't see him on the floor to know he had fallen down there. He was kind of in limbo. But when I came up here, because I went through every team's envelope yesterday trying to find him, couldn't find him. So I figured he had to be up here, and he was lodged between the table and the wall. So Plesac has been found. So when we get back to Milwaukee again, Plesac will be fully carded as he should be. All right, enough of that. Let's get on to the ball game. Willie Wilson will lead it off for the Kansas City Royals, center fielder, veteran, been around for a while. He's hitting .301 on the replay, 2 homers, 12 driven in. He hit .279 real world. And, of course, before we throw the first pitch, we need to have the ceremonial first sip, and that's always the case. So, nice hot coffee. Although it's not as warm as I like it, I probably should have nuked it before I came up here. I didn't do it. Oh, well. But at least the weather's improving. I mean, there's still snow on the ground, but it's supposed to be upper 40s today, so we should get some serious melting going on. All right, here's Willie Wilson. 6'3", switch hitter batting left. Let's grab off pitcher X. Mike Morgan's an E14. The card does not give his range. The computer does. He's a 2. So he's a 2 E14 is Mike Morgan. 2 and a 16, not a problem. So we're looking at the E14, and that is a 10. So usually 10s aren't too bad. And the same situation here, no error. So Mike Morgan makes the play and keeps the speedy Willie Wilson off the bases. Good morning. Are you ready? I bring up Kevin Seitzer. He's hitting .264 on the replay. 8 homers, 29 driven in. He hit .323 real world, so he's definitely underperforming so far. But, you know, He's had less than 200 at bats. He had 641 at bats real world, so he's not even a third of the way through. So he's got time to improve. 4-7, that's a ground ball second base X. That's Harold Reynolds. He's a 2E21. We'll see if he learned anything from watching baseball tonight to figure out if he can make the fielding play. 2-11, looks like he'll get to it. That's a 9, and he's an E21. E21, there is no 9. The 11 and the 2 is a G1, so Harold Reynolds must have been paying attention to that show, and he makes the play without incident. 2 up, 2 down, and that will send up Danny Tartable, right fielder. Tartable hitting 324, 13 homers, 37 driven in. He hit 309 real world. I'm sorry, 30. Yeah, 309. I thought it was 308 at first, but 309. 3-4 for Tartable. That's a ground ball to short, and Quinones will make the play. So 3 ground outs, and Mike Morgan finishes the first inning pretty easily. Not much stress to that inning. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Kansas City nothing, and Seattle coming to bat, and Brett Saberhagen. It's an odd year, so he's having a good season. Usually his history was kind of like 85, 87, and 89 were all good years, and 86 and 88 weren't so good. Just the even odd thing was kind of weird. But in 87, real world, 18 and 10, 336 earned run average. He is 5-5 on the replay with an ERA of 2.59, so he's pitching even better. Just not getting some run support maybe that he would hope to get. But we'll see what happens here against Seattle. It'll be John Moses leading off for the Mariners. Moses on the replay hitting 243, 3 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 246 real world. It's a 6-5 switch hitter batting left, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else would be a double. Leadoff double for John Moses. Good start for Seattle. We'll see if it lasts. Here's Phil Bradley, left fielder, hitting 211 on the replay. He's really struggling. 5 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 297 real world. So he's way underperforming, which is why the Mariners are where they're at. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll that. Have to stay in the tray. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. So Saberhagen comes back and strikes out Phil Bradley, out number 1. That'll bring up the other Bradley, Scott Bradley, the catcher. He's hitting 266 on the replay. No homers, 17 driven in. He hit 278 real world. And he did have 5 home runs real world, but has yet to get one in the replay. 1-8, and that's going to be a base hit that's going to score a run. That's a 17, so it's a single, but it's a 2-star single. Flying around the bases to score is John Moses. And we got a 1-0 Mariner lead. Like I said, don't know how long it'll last, but at least they're in the lead. Bradley will not be held at first base. He's a slow runner. Now, speaking of slow runners, here comes the DH, Ken Phelps. Phelps on the replay hitting 233, 9 homers, 27 driven in. He at 259 real world. .37, and that is a ballpark blast, and that's good for Ken Phelps because Kingdom is 1-17. That's a 15. It is gone. Ken Phelps, the homer-friendly Kingdom, comes into play. Look at it again. 3-7 is a ballpark blast. 1-17, and that's a 15. A 2-run home run from Ken Phelps in Seattle, jumping all over Saberhagen with a 3-0 lead for Ken Phelps. He hit 27 home runs real world. This is home run number 10 on the replay. RBIs 28 and 29. And the Mariners have a 3-0 lead. Here comes Alvin Davis. Hello, Clinton. Here is Alvin Davis. Davis is hitting 289 on the replay. 9 homers, 27 driven in. He hit 295 real world. Saberhagen's got to turn it around. He's off to a rough start. That's not going to help either. 3-7 is going to be a walk. First walk issued by Saberhagen. And Davis, of course, will not be held because he doesn't run very well. And here's the hound dog, Jim Presley. He's struggling as well, hitting 215 on the replay, 11 homers, 38 driven in. He hit 247 in the actual game, or in the actual season, I mean. Saberhagen, 4-7. Ground ball second base X. They were not holding Davis on. So that means Frank White keeps his 2E11. This could be a double play if he gets the right roll. 2E11. We could be looking at a Giovanni Taylor shop. Taylor made double play. 2 and 18, that works perfectly for Frank White. We're just going to check the 13, but the 2 and the 18 is a G1 for sure. He is an E11 at second base. 15, 17, and 18 are the problems. That's a 13, so no problem there. So it will be a Giovanni's Taylor shop. Taylor made 463 double play. Now that's weird. Huh. Okay, never mind. Okay. 463 double play will end the inning, and Saberhagen needed it. After that blast by Ken Phelps put the Royals down 3-0 to Seattle. The lowly Mariners, you would think the Royals could make up ground playing the lowly Mariners, but that's why you roll the dice. All right, Mike Morgan back out will face Thad Bosley. Talk about struggling. Thad Bosley has been struggling. They're putting him in the DH slot the last few games and in the cleanup spot. He hit 279 real world, but in the replay, he's only hitting 154. 2 homers, 7 driven in. He's got about half of his at-bats for the whole season, so he's about 50% of the way through. But he's hitting over 100 points less. Just getting some bad rolls, I guess. 6-9 is a pop out to first. That's not going to help the cause either. Continuing to struggle is Mr. Bosley. One away, and that brings up Frank White, the venerable Frank White. White hitting 244 on the replay, 5 homers, 16 driven in. He hit 245 real world, so he's right where he should be. Oh, the one red die got stuck in there, so let's redo this. They all have to come out at the same time. 111, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field, 2 down. That is hauled in by Kingery. 2 up, 2 down for Juan Beniquez, and he is playing left field in place of Bo Jackson, giving Bo Jackson the day off. Beniquez hitting 259 on the replay, 4 homers, 23 driven in. He at 251 real world. 5-10, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-13. That's a 9, but Beniquez has weak power against righties. So instead of a home run, it would simply be a base hit. That's one where Bo Jackson would have went deep, but they were giving Bo Jackson the day off, so that's what they get. Bo Jackson is available for pinch hitting duties later, but right now he's on the bench. And here comes Bye-Bye Balboni. He's really struggling, hitting 154 on the replay, 8 homers, 17 driven in. He at 207 real world. Beniquez not being held. It's a 5-2 against the right-hander. Fly ball to right field, and again, Kingery puts it away. And again, Mike Morgan, pretty easy. Second inning, just the single by itself, and nothing else becomes of it. We go to the bottom of the second. Seattle still surprisingly holding a 3-0 lead. Saberhagen back out. Will face the bottom of the order. Kingery, Quinones, and Reynolds. Good morning to you, Mr. Mike. And, of course, got to get another sip of coffee while the coffee's still warm. I should have microwaved before I came up here because it's already starting to get a little room temperature on me. Hopefully it'll last to the 7th inning stretch where I can go down and get a refresh while the 7th inning stretch is going on. Here's Kingery. All right, something's going on with the computer here. Something on the computer is not right. I didn't put something right in the computer. I don't know what it is yet. So let me go back and check this because it's telling me that Kansas City's still at bat, and I know that's wrong. So let's see what I didn't enter correctly. All right, we had a Moses double, a strikeout, a single, home run, walk, ground out, double play. Okay, pop out, fly out, single. Oh, I put in, for some reason, I gave Balboni a single instead of the fly out. I don't know why I did that. That was kind of weird. So that's a quick fix. We just undo that single from Balboni and make it a fly out to right. And now we're set. Okay, so Kingery on the replay hitting 231. He's been struggling as well. 4 homers, 14 driven in. He had 280 real world. 6-5, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else is a double. So leadoff double. That's the same way the first inning started with a leadoff double. Now we get a leadoff double to start the second. Saberhagen not on his game. Hey, Rob, I'm playing the entire American League. Yes. American League. Every game on the American League, 1987. And I'm playing a game a day, a game on a calendar day for the National League. So Friday, I'll play the National League game of the day on June the 4th. And June 4th on that day was Montreal, San Diego. So I'll be playing that on Friday because there's only 4 games scheduled on this date in the American League because it's a Thursday. It's a travel day. So we got this game on Wednesday. We got California, Chicago tomorrow. And then Friday, since there's no game, we'll have the National League game on June the 4th. All right. Here is Ray Quinones. Quinones hitting 229. 3 homers, 21 driven in. He hit 276 real world, so he's also been struggling. A lot of the Mariners have been struggling. That's why their record is so bad. That's a 2. Balker pass ball. Saberhagen's Balker rating's a 2. Quirk's pass ball rating's a 6. We're looking at the pass ball rating of a 6 for Quirk. And that is a 6. So a pass ball on Jamie Quirk. And that will move Kingery to third. And that's going to force the infield to come in. Infield will now play in. So Quinones, chance to drive home a run through the drawn-in infield. 3-10, but he's going to fly to center field B, ? Possible sacrifice fly. Willie Wilson does not have a good arm at +2. Kingery's got good speed, so he's definitely going to be trying to score here. Kingery's a 15. With the B ? You add 2, makes him a 17. And then the +2 is a 19. So the only way he's out is on a 20. Everything else, it'll be a sacrifice fly. Do you believe that? Goodness gracious. The Devil Die knows how to screw things up, doesn't it? A 1-19, he'd be safe on a sacrifice fly, and we roll a 20. What the, as they said in Blazing Saddles, what in the wild world of sports is going on around here? So the fly out to center field is out number 1, and then Kingery is going to be out 8-2 on an incredible throw by Willie Wilson for a double play. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. For sure. Did not see that one coming. But there you go. That wipes the bases clean right there. I'm doing manual mode, Mike. I've got the manual mode up there. I'm just typing in the manual stuff as I play. I roll the dice with my left hand and type in the computer with my left hand. I keep score and move the cards around with my right hand. So kind of trying to be ambidextrous here. Here's Harold Reynolds. He's at number 9 hitter. He's hitting 288. No homers, 7 driven in. He had 275 real world. It's a 5-7 switch hitter batting left. To 1-5 is a single. Anything else he lines to second. That's a liner to second. And that will end the inning. So Saberhagen, despite the leadoff double, gets a lot of help from his friends there at Willie Wilson and Jamie Quirk as they turn that double play to get him out of the inning. Hello, Dan. I don't do the rolls. I just do it manually. I just find it be easier for me. But that's the beauty of the whole thing, is play the game the way you want to play it. Whatever works for you is what's important. All right, Mike Morgan back out. Still got a 3-0 lead. Here's Angel Salazar. He's hitting 240 on the replay. 2 homers, 11 driven in. He hit 205 real world. 4-8, and that's a 1-19 single, so it's a base hit for Salazar. First time the Kansas City Royals had the leadoff man on. Salazar, let's see, Morgan is a +2 on his hold. So Salazar, if he could get the lead, it would be a 1-15. Might be worthy to try for the lead, but if he gets a 10 or 11, he's out. That's a 5, so but he will not get there. It's a 2 and a 6, 7, 8. So the 5, he does not get the good lead. So he can't take that chance. He'll have to freeze. And here's Jamie Quirk, the catcher. He's hitting 260. No homers, 11 driven in. He's hit 236 real world. 4-7 left-handed. 1-4 is a single. That's a 3, so base hit. It's only a 1-star single, but runners at first and second with nobody out. So the bottom of the order for Kansas City's coming through. Now back to the top of the order for Willie Wilson. He's a B bunter, but you're down 3-0 and you're playing in a hitter's ballpark. So I just don't think bunt's a prudent move here. So we're going to swing away. 3-8. And that's a single to center field by Willie Wilson. Salazar doesn't run particularly well. And with nobody out, there's no reason in the world to take any chances. So the bases are now loaded for Kevin Seitzer and Danny Tartable. So they got the bases loaded, nobody out, and the big boys coming up. So they should be able to get themselves back in the game, you would think. Mariners with the 3-0 lead are playing back for the double play. Try to get a couple of quick outs and minimize the damage. 2-7. That's a fly ball center field B. So again, potential sacrifice fly, but we saw what happened last inning. But Salazar is a 13. Moses is 0 arm, so the +2 would be a 15. 1-15, he would score on the sacrifice fly. We can't have 2 bad rolls in a row, so they're going to send him 1-15. And he's in there, sacrifice fly. We're not being deterred by 1 bad D20 roll. So it is a sacrifice fly to center field by Kevin Seitzer, and the Royals are on the board. Quirk had to hold it second. He wasn't going anywhere. Here's Danny Tartable. So Wilson can run, but he's kind of held up by Jamie Quirk a little bit. Tartable grounded out to short his first time up. 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Moses. He's a 2E5. 2 and a 6. Should get to that, I would think. 2 and a 6. Yep, he gets to it. That's an 8, and he is an E5. There is no 8 there, so it's good play from Moses. 2 down. And now it's going to be up to the struggling Thad Bosley. That's a 1-6, and that's a single 1-12. That is a 12 right on the dot. It's only a 1-star single, so it will merely just load the bases. So the bases are loaded again with 2 outs, and it takes us to Frank White. A base hit here could tie the game. White is first time up through the right field. Morgan trying to ratchet it down and get out of this. 5-7, ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at the shortstop Quinones, 3E31. 3-15 is good. It's the E31 that might be the problem with the 14 there. So E31 at shortstop and a 14. There's a 15, 16, 17, and 18, but no 14. So Quinones is able to make the play, and the Royals leave them loaded. So they get the 1 run on the sacrifice fly, but that was it. They could have had and should have had probably more. But they did not. So we go to the bottom of the thirds. Score now 3-1 Seattle. Oh, cool. Cool math. Math fun and games. Strat-Max is something I just never got into and never delved into it. I've heard differing things on it. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't. I'm a card and dice guy. I'm not a computer guy. So I use computer to enter my stats and keep transactions and all that stuff. But when I actually play the game, I like to be down in the woods, down in the weeds with the cards and the dice. I just like to have the feel of that stuff in my hand. But like I said, everybody plays the game the way they want to play it, which is great. Hello, Joel. Here's Moses. He led off with a double to start the game, 4-10. This time he will fly to center. Willie Wilson's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it, and the only way he makes an error is on a 17. And there is no 17 there, so Willie Wilson will track it down for out number 1. That'll bring up Phil Bradley. Bradley struck out his first chance. 3-6, and that's a base on balls. That is the second walk issued by Saberhagen. He just hasn't been sharp the whole game. He's kind of been off his game a little bit. Bradley now looking to get the lead. Needs a 2, 3, 4, or 5 to obtain the good lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And that brings up Scott Bradley. Well, we got stacking dice. Well, how many times does that happen on a dice tray where the dice stacking, up top there? So obviously that's an invalid roll. We will re-roll again. That's a 5, 10, and that's another walk from Saberhagen, his third walk. Third walk in 3 innings for Saberhagen, and he usually has decent control. He only walked 53 in 257 innings, so very unusual for him to hit these walk categories. But he's finding the walk rolls. And here's Phelps, who homered his last time up, so definitely needs to be careful if you are Saberhagen. You got to be careful with Phelps. He just went deep last time. It's a 110, and that is a ground ball second base A, so you get the Giovanni's Tailor Shop. Tailor-made double play, 4-6-3. Second double play turned. Actually, the third double. Every inning's been a double play in this game for Kansas City. They have turned a double play on Seattle all 3 innings. The first inning and the third inning were traditional. The second inning was the fly out, throw them out. But they've gotten double plays in all 3 innings. I don't think I've seen that in quite some time. Don't know if they can pull it off again next inning. We'll have to find out. Go to the 4th. It's still 3-1. Do it for the Royals. It'd be Beniquez, Balboni, and Salazar. That's a 2-6, and that's a ground ball to third. The Hound Dog, Jim Presley, all over it. 1 away. 1 down for Bye-Bye Balboni. Good morning, Midlife. Good to see you. 5-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. So we're back to Quinones, a 3E31. 3 and a 9 should be okay. 3 and a 9 is a G3. That's good enough with nobody on. That's a 15. That might be an issue. E31 and a 15. And we do have an error right there on Quinones. E31 and the 15 is the 1 base error. So Quinones will boot it. E6. And the Kansas City Royals get a free base runner. Here's Angel Salazar. He singled his first time up. Balboni, of course, not being held at first. That's a 3-6, and that's not a tailor-made double play. That's an around-the-horn double play. 5-4-3 around the horn, and one good double play deserves another, I guess. And that will end the inning. So Mike Morgan picks up his teammate, makes up for the error with the double play. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, still a 3-1 ball game. Here's Alvin Davis. He walked his first time up. 2-7, and this time he'll fly to center field. Wilson's been busy out there in center. 1 away. And the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. Presley grounded into one of those double plays his last time up. 3-5, and that's a fly to left, so there will be no double play this inning with the first 2 outs. So at least they don't have that dubious honor to go through. And here's Kingery. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Beniquez. He's a 2E6. 2E6 out there in left field. 2 and 18 is good. E6 and an 8. I don't think that's a problem. It is not. So Beniquez makes the play, and Saberhagen finally has a 1-2-3 inning. Go to the 5th. It's still 3-1. Mike Morgan's been hanging on, trying to prove his 2-6 record. I mean, on paper, this should have been a mismatch, but Seattle's hanging in there. Here's Quirk. He singled his first time up. 2-5, and this time he's going to ground it to second. Harold Reynolds is all over it. 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Wilson. He is 1 for 2 with a single. Oh, didn't need the D20 roll. Don't know why I did that. Just out of habit, I guess. 6-10, switch hitter batting left. That's a ballpark single check. Not as good, though, as the home run check. Only a 1-5, and the 7 fails. So that will be a line out to second base on the failed ballpark. So out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Kevin Seitzer. Seitzer had a sacrifice fly for the only run of the game. It's a 6-6, and that's a pop out to Presley at third. And Morgan has been impressive. 5 innings, only allowing the 1 run. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-1. Both Morgan has a fatigue of 7 and Saberhagen a fatigue of 8. So bullpens, if the pitchers are going effectively, the bullpens might get a day off. Here's Quinones. 3-9 for Quinones, and that's a split chance. 1-5 is a single. That's a 4. So we get a base hit for Quinones. And Harold Reynolds is going to be up there to bunt. Will the corners be in? We shall see. No, they're not. The corners are back, so he keeps his A bunt rating. First, we'll do a havoc roll. Nothing going on. So we'll see where the bunt's going to go. 4. Let's see where that takes the bunt. 4 is the first baseman. So it's going to be bunted towards Bye-Bye Balboni. He's an A bunter, so he basically needs a 10 or less. Gets the 8, which is a good sacrifice. So Harold Reynolds gets it done. Gets the runner over there. Sacrifice goes 3-4. Runner in scoring position for John Moses with 1 out. Moses 1 for 2 with a double. That's a 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Saberhagen. A rare strikeout. That's only his 2nd strikeout of the game. Very unusual to have that few strikeouts for Saberhagen. Now to bring up Bradley in a clutch situation now with the runner at 2nd and 2 outs. Bradley in the clutch will lose a hit on 2-5 and 2-10 and also on 1-7. That's a 2. Balker pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Saberhagen, which is a 2. There will be no balk. Here's Bradley. 6-8, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Salazar, a 2E16. 2-15 is good. We get a rare play. We got a 5 here. So let's see what the 2-15. I'm sorry, 3-15. 3-15 is a G1. It's a rare play on a G1, but I don't think there's a whole lot going on, especially with 2 outs already. Yeah, there's the rare play has nothing on that, so it's just going to be a 6-3 ground out to end the inning. And that's going to do it. We go to the 6th, still 3-1. And it'll be Tartable, Bosley, and White, heart of the order coming up for the Kansas City Royals. They got to get something going here against Morgan. They've been stagnant. Tartable 0 for 2. 2-3 is a ground ball to short, so it's not working still as Quinones makes the play. And Mike Morgan has seemingly been in control this entire game. Little bit of a bump in the 3rd inning, but that's about it. He's been in control otherwise. Here's Bosley. 3-8 for Bosley, and he grounds it to Harold Reynolds. That's 2 outs. So maybe the time change for Kansas City flying out west is they got jet lag or something. I don't know. Here's Frank White. He's 0 for 2. 6-5, and that's a fly to center, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning. Mike Morgan pitching better than his 10-17 record would indicate, and his 2-6 record on the replay would indicate. But there's still a couple of innings to go, so anything can happen. Saberhagen back out for the bottom of the 6th. There will be a 7th inning stretch break, so I can heat my coffee. That'll be coming up at the 7th inning, obviously. So Ken Phelps will lead it off. I'm sorry, not Ken Phelps. It'll be Scott Bradley to lead it off. And wow, Phelps got out of order there. Scott Bradley lead it off. He has singled and walked. 2-8, and this time he grounds it to Frank White. 1 away. Now we get Phelps. He's homered and hit into a double play. 3-6, and this time he will strike out. Third strikeout for Saberhagen to go with his 3 walks. 2 up, 2 down for Alvin Davis. Davis has walked and flown to center. It's a 5-10, and that is another walk for Saberhagen. 4th walk issued by Saberhagen. Very uncharacteristic for him to walk that many people in the game. So that'll bring up Presley. Presley is 0 for 2. 4-6, and this time he's going to be 0 for 3 as he lines it to second base to end the inning. So we're going to the top of the 7th. This will be the fatigue inning for Mike Morgan as he has a 7 right here. So we'll keep an eye on his fatigue chances. It'll be Beniquez, Balboni, and Salazar due up for the Royals. We are in the 7th inning, so that means pinch hitting is a possibility. So it's possible that we might see a pinch hitter for Salazar if people get on base. Right now, Beniquez trying to get something going. 3-4, and he doesn't. He strikes out. That's not the way to get things going. Morgan, that is his first strikeout of the game. Took him 7 innings to get a strikeout, and he gets one here. So Beniquez is out. That brings up bye-bye Balboni. 1-6, and he goes bye-bye with the second strikeout from Morgan. So his fatigue inning comes up, and he strikes out the first 2 he faces. And with the bases empty and 2 outs, they're going to let Salazar hit for himself. 1-9, and he pops it up to short. And boy, I just tell you what, Mike Morgan just on a roll. Going back to this double play, he has retired 10 in a row, so he's doing quite well for himself. And also, he went 1-2-3, so he keeps full endurance into the 8th inning. Saberhagen is up, and we will have that 7th inning stretch break. While I go heat my coffee, I think it's gotten pretty, it's almost undrinkable for me because it's not warm enough, so I will go ahead and do that. It wouldn't hurt to take a little quick stretch break. I played a couple of these games in a row. And I haven't done a 7th inning stretch break. So it's probably high time to do one. So let's get ready for that. While I go heat my coffee, you guys can enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. All right, we are back. The coffee has been warmed up, which is of utmost importance. And now we can get going into the bottom of the 7th. Nice warm coffee now. Very much more delightful that it's warmed up. All right, here is Kingery. It'll be Kingery, Quinones, and Reynolds. It's a 1-6, and that's a solid single for Kingery. He's 2 for 3. And Kingery has a chance to get the lead. Saberhagen, though, a -2, so it'll be a 1-11, so they're not going to send him. They will keep him there. All right, here's Quinones. He's 1 for 2, but he's going to be trying to be sneaky, and I think he might try to bunt. So we'll see if they catch the Royals off guard. They do not. The Royals suspect it, so he becomes a C bunter. C bunter. And looks like it's going to be the first baseman. I'm sorry, it's going to be the catcher this time. So Jamie Quirk will be coming out from behind the plate to field this. As a C bunter, he needs a 7 or less to have a good bunt, pretty much. He gets the 6, which is defense. So the defense has the option of trying for the lead runner or just going ahead and taking the out. The lead runner, Kingery, runs at a 15. So the calculation is lead runner safe range, running speed -4 plus fielder defensive rating. So running speed is a 15, -4 is an 11. Quirk is a 4, brings it back to a 15. So 1 to 15 chance he's going to be safe. So I think the Royals will just take the shore out 2 to 4 on the sacrifice. And for those that say I don't bunt, there you go. That's 2 bunts in the same game. How about it? So Quinones, the good sacrifice. And that brings up Harold Reynolds. 1-5 for Reynolds. That's a fly to center. That's 2 away. So 2 down, runner in scoring position for John Moses. In the clutch, Moses, let's see here, he loses a hit on 2-9. Everything else he's moderate and even keel. Just the 2-9 is the only difference. That's a 6-7, switch hitter batting left, and that's a ground ball second base X, Frank White. He's a 2-11. 2 and a 20, he'll get that all day. E11 and a 14. E11, there's a 15 there, but no 14, so it's a good play for Frank White. And that will end the 7th inning. So the pitchers have been in charge the last few innings. We go to the 8th inning, score still 3-1. That score has held up since the 3rd inning. Saberhagen will get his fatigue inning next inning. Morgan, his fatigue inning was the 7th, but since he went 1, 2, 3, he keeps full endurance. And he'll be facing Quirk, Wilson, and Seitzer. Quirk, a 236 hitter, but he is left-handed, and he's 1 for 2, so they're going to go ahead and let Quirk hit against Morgan. That's a 3-8 for Quirk, and that is a base on balls for Jamie Quirk. And for Morgan, that is the first walk he has issued. He got his first 2 strikeouts here. This is his first walk. That's been one of his keys to his success, is not giving free bases to people. So Quirk's aboard. Tying run comes to the plate in Willie Wilson. Quirk, of course, not being held on. Wilson is 1 for 3. That's a 1-5, and that's a split chance. 1 to 5 is a single. That's a 15. He lines it to second base. Out number 1. Seattle bullpen is still pretty silent. They're letting Morgan do his thing. Here's Kevin Seitzer. He's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. 5-6, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. Morgan bucking for the complete game. And here's Tartable. Tartable is 0 for 3. That's a 2. Chance for a balk and pass ball. Pass ball chance, but the pass ball chance on Bradley is only a 1. So there is no pass ball. Here's Tartable. 6-8 for Tartable against Morgan is a single to center field. So Tartable with the single. Quirk will stop at second. 2 down, and now we go to Thad Bosley, the struggling Thad Bosley. But his track record says he's a good hitter, so we're going to let him hit. Morgan to Bosley. 6-2, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Quinones, a 3E31 for Quinones. 3 and a 13, he'll get to it. 3 and a 13 is a G2. That's a 13, and he is an E31. E31, there is no 13, so it's a good play by Quinones. And Morgan survives the 8th inning and will continue into the 9th. He has a little bit of endurance remaining. We're going to see if we can get him a complete game. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Score still 3-1. Saberhagen, this is his fatigue inning. But he's been pitching pretty well lately, so there's no reason to see why we can't have a double complete game here. Very unusual. Here's Phil Bradley. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. 4-6, and that's a line out to second base. Frank White snares it. 1 away. So this game, I hate to almost jinx it, but it's kind of like it's moving along pretty good here. So here is Scott Bradley. He is 1 for 2. Single, a run scored, and a walk. 2-10, and this time he grounds it to Frank White for out number 2. 2 down, and that sends up Ken Phelps. Boy, the Mariners would love a solo shot here just to give a little insurance run. 1-5, but he gets hit by the pitch. Saberhagen came inside a little bit too strong. Plunks Phelps. And now we get a pinch runner for Phelps as they try to get some speed on the bases to maybe steal a potential for another run. They're going to bring in, they don't have a whole lot of speed on the bases, though. That's the problem. But they will bring in Rich Renteria to pinch run. And Renteria will stay in the game as the DH. So Renteria will pinch run here in the 8th inning for Big Ken Phelps. Now, that means 2 things. 1, they got to hold him on, and 2, he's got a chance to try for a steal. 4, 5, or 6, he gets the lead. Does not get the lead, so he will hold, but he's a 14, and they will hold him on first base, which might open up a hole for Alvin Davis. Possible that could happen. But first things first. All right, what happened here? Something didn't happen around the computer again. Hold on. Let's see what I typed in here. Oh, great. Now I see what happened. I actually gave Phelps a home run. On the computer, when you type it in, you either have to, there's 2 H's, one for home run, one for hit by pitch. You got to hit the H twice to get the hit by pitch. I obviously only hit it once in laziness, which caused the home run, which I can certainly undo, which thank goodness for the undo button. And now we bring in Renteria to pinch run. So Renteria pinch running. Actually, I'm catching this. Renteria is not even on the roster. They brought up Mickey Brantley. I didn't even catch that. Mickey Brantley, according to the computer, is supposed to be here. So we're going to give this pinch running to Mickey Brantley instead. Bring him on. Alvin Davis. It's a 1-9, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-9 is a ballpark blast. It's a 1-17, and that's gone. Alvin Davis, talk about your insurance right there. 1-9 is a ballpark blast. That's a 16, but Kingdom is a 17. So we get a 2-run homer. I'll have to remove Renteria and bring on Brantley for the next game. Home run, Alvin Davis. Fortunately, that little snafu didn't affect anything. Alvin Davis, home run number 10 on the replay. He had 29 real-world home runs. This is his 10th with RBIs 28 and 29. And now the Mariners lead it 5-1 as they give Mike Morgan a little bit of insurance. Here's Presley. 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're checking Frank White. He's a 2E11. 2 and a 6 is good. 2 and a 6 is a G2. That's good enough. That's a 9, and he is an E11. There is no 9 there, so Frank White does make the play. But a 2-run home run off the bat of Alvin Davis provides pretty decent insurance there for Mike Morgan. As we go to that'll be all for Saberhagen. He'll get a complete game, but he'll most likely come out on the losing end for Saberhagen. Get his totals real quick. He's going to go 8 innings, give up 7 hits and 5 runs. They were all earned. He walked 4, struck out 3. So not his best outing. He's going to probably drop to 5 and 6. Morgan looking to improve to 3 and 6. But he's got to get through the last part of the Kansas City order. Beniquez, Balboni, and Salazar. Frank White actually is going to lead off. Frank White, Beniquez, and Balboni. That's actually the order. So here's Frank White. 6-5 for Morgan. That's a fly to center. John Moses makes the play. 1 away. I realize that the 6 and the 3 columns might be a little bit off the view because of the way it's running out of room. So when we roll a 3 or 6 on the white die, I'll slide the cards over so you can see them. Here's Beniquez. 5-5, and that's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Harold Reynolds. Mike Morgan 1 out away from getting the complete game. Last obstacle is bye-bye Balboni. That's a 6-7 for Morgan, and that's a pop out to second base. There's a dot there, but he has not reached fatigue, so that will be the ball game. Double complete game. You don't see that very often, certainly not in modern baseball anyway. Mike Morgan's your player of the game, for sure, as he gets the complete game victory and limits the Royals to a run on 6 hits. And Seattle surprises Kansas City in this one. Kansas City drops to 24 and 26. Seattle improves to 19 and 34. Morgan with the win goes to 3 and 6. He goes 9 innings, gives up 6 hits and a run. He only walked 1, struck out 2. He was pretty much in charge the whole time. Final line score 5-7-1 for Seattle, 1-6-0 for the Royals. And Kansas City left 6 on base. Mariners left on 4. So there you go. Game 357 is in the books. Mike Morgan, your player of the game. He was 12 and 17 with a 4.65 earned run average in the real season. And here he improves his record to 3 and 6, lowers his ERA to 3.93. So he's definitely pitching better than his card for sure. So tomorrow morning, we will have the final game of the June the 4th date. It'll be game number 358 from California, Anaheim Stadium, Angel Stadium, whatever it was called. It'll be Jack Lazorko for the Angels against Jose De Leon for the White Sox. That'll be the game tomorrow. And let me go to the standings real quick so I can put in the records of these teams. The White Sox are in second place. They're 2.5 games back of Oakland, so it's a very important game for the White Sox as they are 25 and 23. California 25 and 27. So they're in the mix also, trying to catch Oakland. They are 4.5 back of Oakland. So depending on who wins, if California wins, they'll cut it to 4 games back and move into third place ahead of Minnesota. If Chicago wins, they pulled within 2 games of the Oakland A's. And looking at my winning streaks here, Kansas City just lost their 5th game in a row. So if we look back here, Kansas City at one point was 24 and 21. They are now 24 and 26, and they have fallen into 5th place all by themselves now with this loss. They fall out of the tie, or they're in a tie rather, with Minnesota and California, but the percentage points puts them in 5th place. So tomorrow will be this game, and then on Friday we'll have Montreal and San Diego. That will be the National League game that was played on June the 4th. So I appreciate all of you who spent part of your Wednesday morning with me. It's always nice to have company when I play. Makes it easier. I do need to go to the minor leagues folder for the Mariners and put Rich Renteria back in the minors or injury list or wherever. And I got to bring out Mickey Brantley. He was the guy that they brought up. So I'll make that adjustment. So going forward, we have Mickey Brantley where he should be. Again, final score for this one from Seattle. Kansas City won the real game 6-1, but they lose the replay game 5-1. Almost a reversal of fortune there. So that's going to do it from the Kingdom. Thank you, Dan, and thank you everybody else that was here. Everybody that spent part of your Wednesday morning with me, I appreciate it. Enjoy the company. As I said, it's like a community thing, so it's always nice to have some company while I play. Makes it more enjoyable for sure. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.